so early. Are you snoozing? Hey, buddy. I know. I was gonna go live though instead of doing this. Oh, you were snoozing? And that was kind of nice. And you could go back to snoozing? Okay. Why do you have to sleep on my pillows all the time? Oh, big yawn. You're gonna fall off. No, Denver. Oh, boy. Oh. Well, this was gonna be a live stream, but my dog is trying to jump off of the bed right now. Say hi to the people. Yeah. All right. Might have to put him to bed. But hi. So if you're here, yeah, let me know in the chat. It just gets dark so early. So where I am, it's only, Never, you know you can't jump down that way, buddy. It's only like 8:15, but it's been dark for like 3 hours. Like, I should do some work, but I don't want to. So I figured I'd hop on here. My hair is a little staticky. Because I'm in bed with this monster. Look at this monster. Yeah. Hello. Hopefully I have enough service for this, so sorry if it's if it gets a little chopped out, but I'm in the van, back camping. You can van. If you haven't seen the latest video of the tour, no, you know you can't go down that way, dude. Right? You're just gonna fall into the abyss, man. It is super cozy. As long as my dog, Denver, like, he is a smart boy, but sometimes rocks for brains. Because he thinks he can get down this way, but that is not the way down, my dude. Right? I know. Remember when I started this and you weren't sleeping? And that was pretty nice. All right, so we got a couple people from Florida. Where else are we from? I'm at like such an interesting campground that, well, I won't dox myself, but I'm at a weird campground on the way to some fun stuff tomorrow on the coast of California. So I'm excited. Oh, California, nice. Texas. I'm going to be in Texas later as part of this trip. I'm going to Big Bend. So I'm really excited about that. That'll be another one of my national parks. I have 3 planned, 3 other national parks. I was supposed to go to, oh my gosh, I forget it every time. The national park that's in Nevada, that's the caverns. It's not Carlsbad because I'm going to that one. Oh my gosh, can someone help me out? Something caverns. It's not caverns, that's why. Okay. Anyway, anyone know the national park in Nevada without me having to look it up that I forget, like, the words for every time that I try to do it? Anyways, I was supposed to go to that park. And I looked, and 3 days before I was supposed to go, when the big attraction in this park is the caves. Well, they shut the caves for 6 months of renovation. So I wasn't able to go. Or at least I didn't want to go because like that was the whole point of going, which was such a bummer. But we had such a good time in Utah, so that worked out. But yeah, so I'm going to be going to Big Bend and Guadalupe Mountains and Carlsbad Caverns. So 3 more, so that'll put me at, I think, 44 national parks out of 63. And that'll be Whip's. She's done 39, so that'll be 42 national parks for her. And this little guy, that'll be 5 for him, because he has been to Capitol Reef. If you saw the little short that I showed of him hiking through Capitol Reef. Great Basin. Thank you, Caitlin. The hero of the night, Caitlin. Thank you. Great Basin. Yeah, Great Basin's caves are closed right now. How's training going with John Denver? Do you want to tell him? It's going great. Yeah, I was really happy. We went to the zoo yesterday? Saturday? Nope, Sunday. which was yesterday. Yeah. So we went to the zoo, and I had 100% planned, like, y'all have seen my videos. You saw the one about the aquarium, hopefully, where, you know, I'm only planning on going for like 15, 30 minutes, whatever. We went to the zoo. He was so phenomenal. I feel like this is blazing in my eye. He was so phenomenal at the zoo. He ended up staying the whole time with me. So several hours, and he only got better. So I was as shocked as anyone. Like, usually teenagers at this age, especially with the month we had last month with him just being such a teenager, he was so fantastic. He didn't put a foot wrong. I didn't have to like manage him. He ignored the animals. I was so happy. So that's my little, oop, can you not fall off the bed though, bud? That would be ideal. Where do you think you're going? Are you going in your crate? Yeah? Okay. Well, that's up to you. He's putting himself to bed. Someone asked me why he sleeps in the crate at night on my most recent video of the van. And it's because he rolls around and kicks me and whip, and it's just a pain in the butt when we're sleeping. Like, so if it's cold, I'll have him come up on the bed like around 3 in the morning. And, you know, when it's like like when it gets super chilly, because I don't have heat in here, but otherwise he sleeps in the crate, and we both sleep better because of it. What part of Texas am I going to? Big Bend National Park. So southwestern Texas. I'm not super up on my Texas geography. Big state, but definitely western, kind of near like New Mexico and Carlsbad Caverns. Dash Labradoodle is doing great with your videos and help with training. Oh, that's great, Susie. Congrats. So, yeah, anyways, we went to the zoo with my niece, who's like 9 months old, and he really was lovely. There was this one part, oh my gosh. So the lemurs, we were just like walking by, and the lemurs just started screaming. So that's a really good opportunity for me to reinforce his calm, collected behavior. I thought I got it on my meta glasses because I wore my meta glasses, but sometimes they malfunction. Anyways, I didn't get it on the glasses, which was such a bummer because the screaming was so interesting. And I just like reinforced him through it for his calm behavior. And I swear he thought that the animals were just like me in a costume. We're just like people in costumes, because he didn't like, we had an anteater. If you go on my Instagram, I probably can't say that on YouTube. If you go on my other media that you know what it is, doggy.u, then you'll see the anteater, and it was so fun. That was one of my favorite parts. He put his nose like right on the glass and was like snuffling around. It was so cute. Oh, thank you all for clicking that like button. I think it helps people find these, especially since I don't do, tell people I'm going to do them, which is what I probably should do, but I'm much more of a spur of the moment kind of person. So if you can like this live, that would be super appreciated. Yeah, and I don't usually come on this late but I'm on the West Coast, so West Coast time. Yeah, and we were in Vegas. So we were in Vegas for like a night and a half, whatever. That's about as much time as I want to be in Vegas. I am not a city person. We did like a show. We saw Shin Lim's magic show, which was really good. I didn't bring Denver to that because we did a big training session that day. And yeah, so I just went out with my friend Eve, who you sometimes see on here. But yeah, we trained at Circus, which is a casino. And also the upper level is like an arcade. And that was really fun and really good training. So I'm not a gambler because I work hard for my money and I don't want to throw it away. So I spent like $5 on slot machines just to practice with Denver and lost all of it. I don't think I won once. I think I just lost all of it. All my $5. And then we went upstairs and we were playing some of the carnival games, like the different races and stuff, which was really fun and a really good challenge for Denver. I'll probably make some shorts on it just because I do have some like first person video of that, because it was just a really fun experience. He had to kind of sit like between these like really like he had some really tight places that he had to sit, and the noises, like the bells going off, we did like a skee ball type of game, and then the camels, like we did like a racing game, they reset, which also made a lot of noise. And then okay, so we went with Denver, my lab, who is also training to do hunt test, so field work, and then my friend's golden retriever, who also service dog and also does hunt test. She does it through UKC. I forgot what theirs are called, but in any event, both are gun dogs. Both are experienced gun dogs. And we did this water balloon game where you had to shoot the water in the clown's mouth and it would blow up a balloon. And at the end of it, I won because, like, obviously, no. Eve won the racing games every time. But I blew up the balloon and it popped, and Denver did such a good job of holding his stay. But you could tell both of them were like guns, and I probably can't say that on here either. Whatever. Water, whatever. And and the popping sounded like a shot, and they were both like, "Oh my gosh, is it duck time?" But it was not. But it was such a good opportunity to practice, especially around a bunch of kids, especially had I known that I was gonna be going to the zoo. Like, that was just a really nice precursor to the zoo because there were so many kids at the zoo. The day was beautiful. Everyone was there. And so many parents did such a good job of managing their kids and telling them what was going on with the service dog. So I was so happy. I only had a couple like incidents, but like whatever, to be expected. Yeah. I'm working on the engage disengage game. It works well. Yep, really good. I love the engage disengage game. I use it for a lot of things. It's interesting seeing like the kind of cultures there are in different states around dogs, like what leash laws mean or don't mean to different people in different areas. Had a really frustrating experience. I went to this trailhead that All Trails had said was like very low use, like not too many people there. Well, of course, it was packed, and it was supposed to be an on-leash trail, and like half the people did not have their dogs on leash, whatever. But at the end of it, so I go down, I have both the dogs on lead, which I don't usually do. I usually walk my dogs separately because they both kind of need different things. But I was going to the zoo. I wanted to make sure they both got walked. Anyway, I get to the end, and I'm like walking back to my car, and some person with their little dog in a service dog vest has their dog off leash, and it runs up to both of my dogs. Now, Denver is super friendly and this doesn't bother him at all. But I'm working on my reaction to that, because when it's really easy to turn a dog more afraid of or fearful of other dogs or reactive towards dogs running up to them by losing your you-know-what yourself. And so I'm working on my reaction to things like that so that I don't influence Denver's behavior. And so the little dog ran right up to Denver and the guy's running after him, and blah. It's just so disheartening, Like, I do this channel to try to get to people so that they will have the information that they need to make good decisions and also to make good social decisions around other people. And it's just like so frustrating when stuff like that happens, even when nothing bad happens. It's just annoying. I'm sure I'm not the only one with that experience. Anyway, do you take your dogs to dog park? Good question. Cool Whip does not go to dog parks. She does not want other dogs to approach her, especially as she's gotten older. She has some previous, I wouldn't say injuries, but like sensitivities where she can get sore over the back and stuff, which is managed with massage and chiro and whatever. In any event, she's 9+ right now. So she's not a dog park dog and has never been a dog park dog. Denver, do I take him to dog parks? on very, very rare occasion. Like, okay, here's a good example. Today I went to a dog park, but it was empty. So I brought both my dogs. But I also, while I was in Colorado, they have like some amazing dog parks out there. So specifically, there was one that I went to a couple of times that was 400 acres. So when we're talking about 400 acres, we're not talking about a mosh pit of dogs. We're talking about people going hiking and their dogs are allowed to be off leash. So that is an ideal circumstance for me. I have a dog park in my town. I will occasionally watch the dogs that are in it. I know a couple of dogs there that Denver really likes and does well with. So on occasion, I will do that. But generally, no, I'm not a dog park person. I don't bring my dog to the dog park. I exercise them myself. I have friends. I'll rent a sniff spot with friends. So sniff spot, for those of you who don't know, is where you can like rent someone's backyard and have, you know, access to it. So I'll bring a dog friend or two and let them do that. So that's kind of how I handle dog to dog play. But yeah, the amount of times I go to a dog park, you can count on one hand. And it's always like if it's empty, then I love it. Just the risk is too high. I've spent way too much time and energy on this dog to have some poorly behaved or aggressive dog mess it up for me by being, you know, negligent on my part. Sammy's trying to do that too, and not, I think you're referring to when dogs run up to your dog. Yeah, it's hard. I agree. I would never take my dog to a dog park. Yeah, and I would never take Cool Whip to a dog park. Every dog is different, and there are a lot of different dog parks out there. Like, so, like specifically, like the one in Colorado, ideal circumstance. You've got basically a giant hiking area in which dogs can be off leash. So is that a dog park? Not really. I mean, I go hiking off leash with my dog a lot of places. So it's kind of more like that. People are rude. Hello, just popping in. Hi. It's super hard. Sol and I have had a lot of bad luck with accidental off-leash dogs lately. Yeah. I don't care for dog parks. Everyone don't take care of their dogs. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I don't recommend dog parks, people. That's not true. My dad recently had a couple of dog attacks on his guide dog, and he's been using, so my dad's blind, if you guys don't know. He uses a guide dog, and he's been using citronella spray, and he's used it really successfully with his guide dog because he can't see that, like, he can hear a dog approaching but can't see what's going on. So citronella spray is a really good way to de-escalate. People will get mad about it, but who cares? You're not going to ruin the $65,000 guide dog. So and if your dog is off leash and running across the road at them, whoopsie, that's on you. They need to have a service dog park. Yeah, but there's plenty of service dogs that aren't good dog park. Like, wouldn't be a good for that situation either. Thinking about some of like the shepherds, like most dogs don't want to be in a doggy mosh pit, which is like a lot of times what oh my gosh, words, dog park is. Susie's saying how nicely trained her dog is. Behavior that I need, that I would never put him in an environment where he could get hurt. Yeah, I mean, your dog can get hurt doing anything. I was thinking about that today. I had him running in a field and I saw a couple gopher holes and I was like, oh, we got to go over here because he could, you know, put a foot wrong in a gopher hole and break his leg, you know. There's a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of ways that dogs can get injured outside of a dog. I am not like telling people to go to dog parks. Don't go to dog parks. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of ways dogs can get injured. David is getting a dog next month, and I'm going to be owner training it to be my service dog. Awesome. Check out my best breed for service dog work video, as well as my is this dog a good candidate video. That'd be helpful probably. I carry citronella spray as well. I haven't had to use it yet, thankfully, but I feel it having it a bit better. Yeah, and one thing to consider if you're going to carry citronella spray is to make sure that you actually practice using it, because if you don't practice drawing it in like a time, like it needs to be muscle memory or else it'll be hard to use, or you need to have a lot of leeway, like the dog has to be coming from very far away. So practice actually pulling it out, making it accessible, making sure your right hand can grab it, or whatever dominant hand you have can grab it. So do you have any tips on creating a better recall off of distractions? Yeah, check out my video on my channel. If you look up the word come, there's a whole video on how I teach recall. I also have some videos on Patreon, patreon.com/doggyu, that show me recalling. Like, I start with recalling off of food as my starter, and then a lot of the name game, which you can also see a free video on YouTube on name game. Yeah. Thank you, dog parks equal mosh pit. I completely agree. Yeah, but look, I don't use dog parks. And also, there are certain situations, like I've had clients where exercising their dog is challenging, and they have like an apartment dog park complex where they know the same 2 dogs that they're going to play with. That's fine. It's basically a backyard. So we're like, it depends. Yeah. Let's see. I need a service dog and I don't know where to start. Check out my service dog training playlist. People are quick to ask if your dog is a service dog. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Do you have kits you carry when hiking, you like for emergency situations, like a first aid kit? To be perfectly honest, no, but should I? Yeah. I don't tend to hike alone in areas where, like, the most of my hiking that I do is around my house area, in which like, if something went down, my husband works from home, he could come and provide aid, get me out of there, that kind of thing. But no, it's definitely something, especially after this trip where I've been hiking significantly more remotely, something I've thought about, and a friend of mine had one while we were hiking. So, something I will definitely consider for the future. Let's see. I love all your videos. I love all the educational information you put out. You're doing everything you can possibly do to help us on the other end to have our ESA and eventually service dogs be the B. Awesome. Well, thank you. Oh, people love to talk about equipment. Do you support e-collars and prong collars? Are you new to the channel? Have you watched my videos? Question mark. Do you see me using them in videos? I don't personally use them. No. I don't know what support means. I don't personally use that equipment. I don't need to, so I don't. Good morning. That person is not in my time zone because it is nighttime. How do you go about loose leash walking? It's like I know these questions, and I've made an entire playlist on my channel called Loose Leash Walking, so you should check it out. It's actually really pretty comprehensive about how I train loose leash walking. One of the first videos is teaching the dog how to come to heel, and then also how to teach the dog reinforcement zone, basically to sit by, or to be able to walk by your side. I teach that all off leash. I don't use a leash to start training loose leash walking, because ultimately I want my dog to be able to be off leash and be able to heel next to me off leash. And so to do that, I want to, I want to have a dog that understands that the place that they should be is next to me, not because they're being, pressured or whatever by the leash to hold them there. That's not to say I don't use leashes, I do. But I start with young puppies off leash, training reinforcement zone by my left-hand side. I like my gentle leader. I do too. I like gentle leaders, when used appropriately. I am going to do a gentle leader video. It's just been really hard to make videos on the road. I have a couple in edit right now. But yeah, you'll see Denver and a gentle leader sometimes. But I am going to do a video on how I use them. And, a lot of people are like, well, I'm struggling to get the dog, they want to transition off the gentle leader, and that is the actual issue, is how you approach the use of any equipment can be really helpful. So for me, it's a 50% rule. I'll go into this more in an actual video, but with gentle leaders, I only use the equipment, a gentle leader, 50% of the time. So either that means on 50% of trips that I go on or 50% of a trip, because that keeps me honest about where my loose leash walking skills are, or if I am using the gentle leader as a management tool or band-aid for not teaching my dog reinforcement zone or where they should be when walking with me. I don't know for you the time. I am in the ocean. Okay. Your videos are very informative and helpful. I really appreciate them. We grow together every day. Oh, thank you. I was just asking you if you supported other people using them. I don't. Yeah, so that's a good question. I'm sorry if that came off snarky. I just have people that ask me that all the time. I honestly really don't care what other people do. Like, I care a lot about how I train and the ethics within my own training. And I think that the world is nuanced. And I like to provide information on how I train and then let people make judgments based on what's best for them and their dog. Yeah. I'm worried about his throat with a flat collar. Oh, well, if you have a dog with like a sensitive trachea, you could always use a harness instead. Because if the problem isn't management, then they should be able to walk the same in a harness as they do on head collar, in theory, right? So Whip can walk in a harness out in public or a flat collar. She doesn't use a head collar because head collars, so like that's the nuance thing, right? So it's like you're asking about e-collars or prong collars, well, head collars, right? Some dogs, great on a head collar. If you introduce them properly, they're pretty neutral. Cool Whip has a really sensitive face. I trained her on a head collar. I train all my dogs on a muzzle, so like another thing on her face, but she's a really sensitive dog and I don't use a head collar with her because she's a sensitive dog and it's like it is aversive to her. And that has to do with being a specific, like training the dog in front of you. And so that means I just had to work way harder on my loose leash walking and make sure she could do it on a flat collar. But like also if your dog, so like to the comment from Sammy, the dog is, you're worried about the throat. In theory, if their healing is really good, then you shouldn't be putting any pressure on their throat. Hey, Carol. Oh, I'm going to butcher the name of that in California. I've been watching you for a while. You've helped me train my service dog. I started training at 8 weeks. She's 2 years old now. She's a terrier Belgian Mal. Wow. I bet that is quite the mix with some high energy needs. He wears a service dog harness, but I don't like to put a leash on it. Yeah, ultimately, like, we need to be able to, like, you're responsible for being able to control your dog. So, you know, thinking about in public what that looks like for you. So when you do see Denver in a head collar, which if you have seen some of the zoo pics, he is in a gentle leader or head collar for some of it because the consequences of a mistake are significantly higher. I do the same thing like at a fair or at like food places. That's where I might be more likely to use a head collar because he's an adolescent and adolescents are prone to making impulsive decisions and mistakes. Denver is a relatively impulsive dog. The consequences of a mistake are high. Then I might use a head collar. Yeah. I went from a gentle leader to just the Blue 9 harness because Soul never liked the feeling. Great. Yeah. You got to work with the equipment that works for your dog. Yeah, a front clip on the Blue 9 harness is great for sure. It rhymes with sun. Oh, it wasn't your last name that I was saying, Carol. I was saying the name of the town, Chispinos, but I knew that I was not going to say that correctly. Let's see. Astro has so enjoyed being home with my partner, is furloughed. He usually comes to work half day with me, then daycare. We held off on this to save money. I'm worried Astro will not want to return to work. I don't know if that's a question. Sorry, I'm not sure. um, I think it's more me worrying that makes me resort to the gentle leader. You can always put a gentle leader on and attach it to the flat collar or the harness. And then instead of actually clipping it, like, so you have direct pressure on the nose, right? So one of the ways that you can think about transitioning yourself is the head collar is on, but you clip the bottom, like, loop where the head collar is to the flat collar. And that might be a good transition. Or you can use like an extender to the harness as well. Hey, I know I've never been in a live stream, but I've been watching and training my white German Shepherd, and because of your help and other channels, she is now 4 and fully trained. Awesome. I've learned a lot from watching your videos. Awesome. Is it okay to use a bark collar? I don't. Yeah, no, that especially would not use a bark collar associated with public access, if that's what you're asking. Because, like, bark collars notoriously unreliable and can go off and punish the dog for things that aren't him barking. But that sounds like you need to work on his startling in church. So, like, doors opening, people standing, all of that kind of stuff, and reinforce quiet behavior versus punishing for the bark, because that could easily make him nervous to be in church or have other consequences when you want to teach him to be confident and that he doesn't need to alert to bark. Yeah. Let's see. Absolutely, I like the front clip. Kind of works in the same way, just another small bit of directional pressure for a recall. Sure, yeah. Service dogs wishing they were regular dogs. Anthropomorphizing on that. Yeah, I mean, like, all dogs are gonna have, like, preferences. Like, would Denver rather be retrieving than going to the zoo? Probably. Yeah, but I'm balancing, like, doing the retrieving work he enjoys and then also making the zoo enjoyable. So yeah, just like I would prefer to be gallivanting around the desert than editing videos on my laptop. But I just do both and then I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah, so if you need to use both an e-collar and a prong collar and you say they can't work on a flat, I would wonder how trained to fluency your behavior is. So by that I mean, if I have to use equipment to get the behavior that I want, is that behavior fully trained? To your whip, she's digging because she's going to bed too. So, my test for service dog work is if I left all my equipment at home by accident, all I have is a flat collar and leash. I have no treats. I have no other types of equipment. I have no head collar. I have no anything that exerts pressure on the dog. Can I go into a store? Can you guys hear that? Is that annoying to you? So can I go into a store for 15 minutes, do work for 15 minutes and without any reinforcer, any tools, then that's when I start considering my dog trained. Yeah. That's also why I use CGC tests, CGCU, CGCA, all of that to test my skills, because you can't use equipment in those. Yeah. Let's see. Thank you so much for the great videos. You've helped me learn new tricks to train my service dog in training. His name is Sputnik, and he's a Great Dane, Mastiff, Cane Corso, and Red Pitbull mix. That's quite the mix. Yes, it's been a Frisbee furlough. Yeah, Miss Whip. Yeah, she's actually locked in her kennel right now because she was eating a bully stick, and Denver eats his bully stick in 2 seconds. I couldn't even believe how fast he ate it today. Such a waste of money. Do you believe that every dog can become a service dog? Absolutely not. I do not believe that every dog should become a service dog, could become a service dog, should become a service dog. Nope, I do not. I think most dogs are not happy being service dogs and shouldn't be service dogs. I think that was pretty clear. Yeah, so if she can work on a flat, but she's making more mistakes, I would consider what can I do to help her make less mistakes when she's not being held together by a prong. And I'm not like being specific about prongs here. I mean, the same thing is true of a head collar. Any piece of equipment is, if the dog is being held together by that piece of equipment, if they are making more mistakes off of it, then there's more training that needs to be done, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. How do you proof to get to the point of being able to do it with nothing? Just really small progressive steps towards my goal, making sure I don't overface the dog and give them more than they can do. Practice, patterning behavior, and not pushing them beyond what their capability is. So if I'm relying on the piece of equipment to hold the dog together, how often am I doing that? Right? That's really the question, is like, if I'm having to hold them together with equipment or manage them into not doing something wrong the majority of the time, then it's not trained, it's management. Right? I don't know. And some people are fine with managing their dog forever. I'm not. That's like, that's not who I am as a trainer. Does a dog have to get off a head collar? No, but they should be able to work for 15 minutes off of it without anything, without it being a train wreck. I think that's just my personal opinion. This is not facts, just opinions. It's like 12 a.m., so I'm going to go to bed, but it was great joining the live stream. Thanks, Kilo. Have a good night. I plan on taking her CGC test soon. Yeah, CGC test for me is my opening test. So CGC is my bare minimum for starting a dog in service dog work. My service dog passed CGC. Should we go for CGCA and CGCU? Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to, like, if money is a concern, you don't even have to actually take, submit them or whatever. But yeah, so CGC is my bare minimum to start a dog on service dog training. CGCA is just a little level up from CGC, and CGCU is a lot more approaching towards public access. Now, Denver doesn't have a CGCU yet. I was supposed to take it before, like a couple months before this trip, but the person that I used for doing it got ill, unfortunately, because also disabled. So we haven't been able to do it. So that'll happen when he gets back. And I'll probably do a deep dive on it on Patreon on how I'm prepping for it too. So if you're on Patreon, patreon.com/doggy, definitely check, wait for that. It'll probably be, I have someone really cool coming on in December. So probably for the February deep dive, I'll do a CGCU prep video deep dive. Do you have any tips on how to get my service dog in training to focus in distracting places? Yeah, the engage disengage game, the offered attention. Check out my video on offered attention. I'm spending a lot of time on offered attention, a ton of time, all the time, getting that dog to want to engage with me. I love the constructive criticism. It's like you're being helpful without being rude, which is the complete opposite of other trainers I've talked to. Yeah, I want everybody to be welcome here on the channel, and I am not perfect, and I have trained all sorts of ways. I do what I think is best for me and my dogs and my heart, which sounds like super mushy, but that is true. That's why I don't train guide dogs anymore. And yeah, I think like we can only do the best that we can do with the information that we have. And so that's why I'm hoping to spread information in a free/affordable way. Can't wait to get to the point where you can take the CGC. Yeah. I do have a video on CGC prep over on Patreon as well. I'm training Potassium on the flat from the beginning, and we're moving on to off-leash soon. Nice. Potassium is a great name. I love that. Not hating on people not using flats. Yeah. No, I do the same thing. I train on a flat. You'll see Denver in most videos on a flat. It's not because I'm like hiding a prong collar. I've been accused of like hiding equipment and then like reshooting my videos with like, that is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Like, why would I waste my time freaking doing that? So, yeah, when you see my dog on a flat, it's because I train mostly on a flat. And when you see him on a head collar, it's because I sometimes train him on a head collar. Head collar. So then there's this like other question, right? Of when we're talking about tools like a head collar with leverage and management and physical disability. So like sometimes if my shoulder is really messed or my knee is really messed, I'll put him on a head collar. You'll see him in a head collar in the Capitol Reef video, because the consequences of him like stumbling, pulling, something like that, with me and my disability and my joint condition are really high. So that would be another scenario where I'm going to use, oh my God, stop asking me about tools. Gosh. I don't train with prong collars or e-collars. That is all. But like also all of my stuff is completely accessible no matter how you train. You can just take the things that you like and leave the rest. Let's see. Denver's intro to a guide harness video was cool to watch, as well as your clip of your visit to BLD. Will you introduce him to a boldly designed harness when he gets older? Yeah, so, well, first of all, I have a full boldly designed video coming out, which I'm excited about. And boldly designed doesn't make a guide harness. And the primary thing that I'm going to hopefully do is do guide work with him to show people how to do guide work and leading tasks in a way that I think is less confusing for the dog and actually gives really good foundations, because I think there is a gap in knowledge and understanding regarding leading tasks. And I think the guide dog framework for training that could be really helpful for a lot of people, and especially a lot of dogs who are having to do a lot of guessing, and people who are not training the behaviors to fluency because they don't know they're helping their dog a ton, which is inevitable. That is not a slight. It is like one of the things as a guide dog instructor that happened all the time is we really had to be careful that we weren't helping the dog, so that when we went under blindfold, the dog wasn't totally wrecked by having now no help from their person. So in regards to any like mobility type training stuff for Denver, I probably will not. The reason that I have Denver is like, yes, I do have EDS, but that is not the reason I have a service dog. I could function without, there's some things that he does that are helpful for me. I don't think it would be, if I wasn't a professional trainer, the stuff that I need for EDS probably would not be worth the amount of time and effort it takes to train a service dog if this wasn't a lifestyle for me. He is much more significantly used for my PTSD, psych disorders, and migraines. So in short, Liz, I probably won't do mobility stuff with him unless something, gosh, I should knock on wood, but like unless something gets worse. Where did I get Cool Whip from? Canadian Cobar Coolies up in Canada. I got her 9 years ago when there were only 5 breeders in all of the North America for Coolies. I do not recommend Coolies for service dog work. Public service announcement finished. Salita finally made it for a live. I love your videos and got me ready for dog. I'm ADHD and ADHD, and I struggle with implementing the training. Any suggestions? Have you watched my video on training with ADHD? I do have a full video on that. But keeping things short, letting yourself, like I have ADHD. I have to be medicated to edit the videos for this channel because it is so hard. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I'm just laughing because I had so much work to get done today and I was heavily assisted by medication. What was the question? Oh, I would let yourself, when you struggle with training, I would let yourself have short sessions, and I would go with your, like, whatever your like interest is at the time. So I train a lot of sports with Denver and I train a lot of behaviors with him, and I do it cyclically. Like So I trained duck dog stuff all summer, and now I am no longer training duck dog stuff. Now I am going to be prepping for some more like competition obedience stuff. Then in the springtime, I'll be training shed hunt with him, and my primary focus will be shed hunt. So I kind of let myself have, I let myself follow my interests and drop things that I want to. I don't know if that's helpful for you, but have you ever worked with ACDs? Yeah, I had a Jake, my dog that passed this year, Australian cattle dog. I did Australian cattle dog rescue. I fostered for Australian cattle dogs. I love Australian cattle dogs. I do not think they make good service dogs. I would not recommend them. In fact, I don't recommend herding dogs generally. And I know like people have herding dogs, and I've trained herding dogs. My whole career was 10 freaking years of training German Shepherds. I don't recommend them for most people for most tasks. Like most people that I work with need psych dogs. I don't recommend herding dogs for psych dogs. I'm not saying that there can't be herding dogs that make good psych dogs. I'm just saying that I would not recommend them. What's EDS? Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. My joints are wonky as hell. I have to go to the hospital sometimes because my kneecap will like dislocate, or my shoulder will dislocate, and then I can't walk. I mean, not because of my shoulder, when my knee is particularly bad. But my shoulder I've been in rehab for the last 2 months, and basically I can't have surgery on it. So I have to strengthen all of my muscles to hold everything together. Have you adopted a dog from the animal shelter? I think I covered that. Yeah, Jake was a rescue. I've volunteered in rescue for a long time. I also don't recommend rescues for service dog work. This is fun. I'll just tell you all the things that I don't recommend for service dog work until nobody wants to follow me anymore. Yeah, watch my rescuing service dogs video. I went and did an intensive down in Texas, doing mobility and hearing dogs, and they were primarily a rescue place. We went to a shelter. We evaluated 400 dogs. 0 of the dogs were appropriate for service dog work. So that's why I have to play in numbers, right? And my goal always is for when someone's going to invest the amount of time, energy, money, and emotional everything that goes into making a service dog, I want them to have the greatest chance of success. And so that's how I make recommendations, like broad recommendations. Thank you. That has changed my whole mindset. Oh, what has changed your whole mindset? I don't know what that is now. Joints be doing joint things. Yeah, joints be doing backwards joint things. I joined your Patreon group a couple of days ago, and I already can't thank you enough for all the help. I'm getting my golden retriever service dog prospect soon, so all your help has been so important. Oh, thanks, Danielle. I really appreciate. To my Patreon folks on here, literally, I could not do this without you. I am appreciative of you every single day. I can't even tell. Oh my God, I might cry. Because there's no way I could have the YouTube channel without my Patreon people. I don't make it. Like, I can't even pay my mortgage with the money I make on YouTube. I don't make a lot of money from ads. People think that I make a lot of money. I don't. I make like $800 a month, which is not enough to live on. So without my Patreon people, I wouldn't be able to do this channel. So I am greatly appreciative of you guys. Really am. Love you guys. Thanks. Looking forward to that boldly designed video you mentioned you were putting out. Yeah, it should be within the next month. I was editing it today. It's just long. It's like pretty in depth, so it's taking a long time. I think it's good to be realistic about what dogs are suitable for service dog work. Yeah, thank you. Laughing here. I do have a... Whoa, that's crazy. See, it's not in real time, so I don't know what's crazy. Ah! Is the Patreon worth it? Asking the chat. Oops, you asked me too. Yeah, it's only $5 to join. Super duper worth it. 400 videos. And also do what you want. I do offer a lot of things on Patreon, though. Like, the whole point of Patreon was to crowdsource my income so that I was able to do YouTube and spread information for free. So the whole, like, YouTube has an algorithm. I have to have, like, a lot flashier like I say flashy, like my videos are flashy, but a lot more edited videos. My, certain videos don't do well. And what happens on Patreon is I can put whatever I want. I can do nitty gritty details. I can show a progression of training without losing viewers. And that's what I love about Patreon is like, it's just more in depth. I also do Q&As, deep dives. Like you get like a webinar every other month. So there's a lot of stuff on there. And I've been doing it for 3 years. So it's a huge, I mean, there's like 500 posts or something on there. Yeah, I got on Patreon too. I don't know what I just did. Yeah, I got on Patreon too because the vids mean so much to me. Oh, thank you. Question, if you have time, in obedience, we are struggling for the stand for exam. Dog backs up from the judge. Does okay when I'm closer, but the goal is 6 feet. So that would be a proofing issue, and I don't know how you taught your stand. I'm also, so let me just preface this with Denver and I are brand new to obedience, and also, it's a proofing problem. So I would start probably with 2 foot targets. So what's interesting is I have a video on blocking that's coming out soon that I was also editing today, and that shows how I use 2 foot targets to teach the stand. So I would work on your 2 foot targets, proofing against everything, and then work with friends to do the touching, and also consider like what type of reinforcement can you give to have the dog think this is the best thing. So like whatever your highest value thing is. My dog trainer recommends that I join your Patreon. She absolutely loves you. She's a regular trainer, not a service dog trainer. Oh, who is it? That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to know who that is. The dog world's pretty small. I know a lot of trainers. I'm going to be getting a mini poodle service dog candidate in the summer, hopefully. Awesome. I've trained some really fun mini poodles, not for service dog work, just pet stuff, but they're a blast. Just make sure it's a really stable temperament because they can be a little bit more frenetic. How is the weather there? It's fantastic. California is always nice. It's just way too people-y. What's the weather? Too people-y. There's like a billion more people than I want here. Sometimes I miss Connecticut because it's just like when I go places when there's a ton of people, I'm like, I want to be in the woods away from people. That's my own problem. Did you ever do a tour of your new van? I only saw the old one on YouTube. Yes, it came out on Thursday. Go check it out now. Yeah, I did. I literally just came out. So check it out. Oops, sorry. I'll add the context when it comes to, the 0 dogs chosen out of 400 in the shelter. Yeah. Yeah, and this is like an organization that's investing a lot of resources. I completely understand what you mean about the missing gaps and missing information out there. Seen a lot of find the task where the handler is providing a lot of information to the dog. People do not understand how much information they're giving their dog, which isn't a problem for, like, so if you're doing form momentum pull, not a problem, right? Because if you're sighted and the task doesn't come with disassociation or migraine, loss of vision, blurry vision, any of that, it's not a big problem that you're helping the dog, as long as you understand that you're helping the dog. But when you don't understand that you're helping the dog and then you're in an actual medical crisis and the dog cannot find things because you've been pointing them subtly with your body language, that's when it's a problem. So hopefully the guide dog work that I'm going to do with Denver will shed some light on that. I think he's going to be pretty good at guide work. He's not old enough yet. His hips did come back as good. His elbows look good. Those have not been submitted yet, so I have to... I'm going to be waiting until he's 2 on those. But yeah, we'll probably start some foundation work around 18 months or so. You have to remember that most schools don't even start a dog until 2 months from where Denver is right now. I want the nitty-gritty details. They're super helpful. Yay. Yeah, my lovely husband is so much help. Would not be able to do this without them. Very curious about Patreon for that reason. Yeah. And it's $5 and you can cancel anytime. So if you get on and, you don't find value in it, I mean, you could also watch like 500 videos in a month, but you can cancel anytime. And, yeah. And all you're losing is a cup of coffee. Really like 2/3 of a cup of coffee because right now, coffee is expensive. Yes, she gives the most in-depth explanations more than anyone. Oh, thank y'all. This has just turned into like a really nice marketing opportunity. Y'all are the best. I met the parents and the dog from the breeder. They're great, stable dogs, largely bred for sport, but also with a history of successful service dogs. Awesome. My regular, not service dog trainer is Sarah Dickens. She's a Patreon member. She's a positive reinforcement trainer at Force Free, which I love. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. All right. I love your channel. Since you don't do training for mobility, is there a channel that you would recommend? Ooh, I don't know if there's a trainer that does free videos for mobility. I don't know. I believe Donna Hill might have some mobility stuff. I think Delta Tales just put something out. You know, it's just that I am really careful to not give advice on something that I have not done multiple times successfully. And so while I understand how to do the things, I don't want to, if it's not my specialty, I don't think that I should be giving advice on it. Kind of like stay in your lane situation, if that helps. There are some tips in the new video that's coming out though that'll be free. So hopefully that helps. And maybe I can ask Katrina if she has a trainer that she really likes. But I don't know the one that gives information for free. Will your guide dog video include info about finding a safe path? My dog doesn't need help finding, but he takes the shortest path, which isn't always the safest. I guess, what do you mean by safest path? So it will cover things like, you know, we teach the dog for preference for going to the inside and away from cars versus going towards cars. It will talk about like elevation changes, that kind of thing. But ultimately, once we've taught the dog foundations of these types of things, it is the dog's responsibility to make decisions based on that training and to do what they think is best. And they're not always going to get the right answer because they're dogs. Yeah. All right, all of you that are on here, can you press that like button for me? Because then maybe when I go to bed, people will find this later. Because it's been pretty fun. I hope you're fun. Ask Zach George, he might know. I don't know if Zach George knows much about service dog training. I think he's mostly pet dog and sport dog stuff. The other person who might have it is Feywild Dogs. They might have one. Atlas might have a standalone course for that as well. I don't know. I'll try and find some more resources. There's also, on this new video that's going to be coming out, not sure when, there is the mobility resources group, and they might have some info too. So we'll do my best to find more resources. Helping Howls isn't free, but is an Atlas certified trainer that does virtual training for very affordable prices and does forward momentum. Awesome, Liz. Thanks for sharing that. Sometimes he takes me through planters and I'm mobility challenged instead of keeping me on the sidewalk, and he tries to help walk diagonally through parking lots, which keeps... okay, so that's actually a foundation training problem, right? So this is like a really good example of teaching something without the foundation. And I'm not trying to pick on you, Rise. This is why I want to have this information available, is because those problems are solved by teaching obstacle avoidance, which is a foundation behavior for service dog work, as well as line of travel, country travel, walking, you know, in a parking lot, you walk with the cars on the left-hand side, you don't walk diagonally, guide dogs walk in straight lines, all of those things. So that's where foundation work, a lot of people want to jump to just finding the car, finding the door, whatever, but they don't teach the dogs the foundations that get you there safely. That's what I'm hoping to remedy. I don't know anyone else who's done that kind of work publicly, so we'll see if I can make it happen. Excuse me. I'm like, my throat is dry. I've been talking. Oh my gosh, I've been on here an hour. I don't think I've ever done one that long. I got him partially trained. I didn't train him this stuff. I am just stuck fixing his bad habits now. Yeah, Rise, you're definitely going to want to follow along in the series. Also, check out my obstacle avoidance video. That one is free and up on YouTube right now. Sorry. But yeah, that shows how I teach obstacle avoidance, which will be helpful for you. Do guide dogs avoid anthills? Not necessarily. It's like asking, do they avoid puddles? Some do, some don't. Yeah. All right. I think I'm done because I can't even talk anymore because I lost my voice a little bit there and I'm coughing all the time, which I don't want to put on camera anymore. So, oh, and it's 9:15. My sister should be joining me pretty soon. out here in the middle of nowhere, and we're gonna go on a little adventure camping this week. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to my Patreon members and for saying nice things. I really appreciate it. And y'all have an awesome night, and watch some of the recent videos and watch the recent van video. It's actually doing like decently well. It's my best video in a while, so thank you all for that. All right, have a good night. Happy training.